tried another one that actually pissed me off. I'm not going to show the video because I haven't actually seen it in its entirety. And it's just a video that pissed me off. The whole story pissed me off. Okay. Cop, like, cops in riot gear, walking by, pushes an 80-year-old man to the ground. That's bad. But every single riot cop after that walked past him, even though you could hear people saying he's bleeding from the ears. I'm sorry, I hear someone's bleeding from the ears, I try to help him. I hear an 80-year-old man's bleeding from the ears, I try to help him before he dies. Like, an 80-year-old man is basically a child. You have the same. Now stick with me on this. You have the same muscle generation. You have the same strength in your legs. Because if you ever hung out with an older man, after a while, when your legs get sore enough, you walk like a child. You get pushed over easy. You're weak. The only difference between you and a child is a child's more innocent. Because let's face it, everybody's done shit. And when a child breaks a bone, it heals. When an old person breaks a bone, it's permanent. So pushing an old man to the ground is in some ways a little bit worse. And there was one guy that tried to help him apparently. Now the guy I was watching the reaction of said it was a half-hearted attempt. Not watching the video, so I don't know, but by the sound of it, the dude actually wanted to help. This is another thing that pissed me off. When one guy went to help his cop buddy, what would you think would go? Okay, he's helping, I should help. No, pulled the guy off. He's like, don't help that old man. Let him die. Like, even if you had nothing to do with it, you see someone on the ground bleeding, you help them. 80-year-old man, 20-year-old man, 20-year-old chick, 5-year-old. Because if they're a human being and you're a human being, you try to help them. It's called being a person and not a heartless prick. So, some of these cops, genius idea. Try not to be heartless dickheads and think of everybody as people. Like, if one of those cops that was there had a dad that was about his age, imagine that old man was your dad. Now, would you push your dad to the ground and let him bleed out? It's not a hard concept. Just like the guy killed that guy. If that guy was your brother or you, would you want somebody on your neck until you die? If the answer is no, then maybe you shouldn't do it to other people. Like in my last video said, we're all the same if you got us. We bleed, we get in pain, everything looks the same inside, and the only difference is if you're gutting people, you're not the same and you're a psychotic bitch. Just like we all need air. And if someone passes out, they're not a threat anymore. Just like if some guy's on the ground and you have 5 or 6 of your well-armed, well-trained buddies standing around, you don't need to break his arm to get him in cuffs. You outnumber the guy, you overpower the guy's on the ground listening to you. Maybe the guy's not a threat. Maybe 100-pound soaking wet dude isn't a threat to two giant security guards that one of them had to be pushing 300 pounds and the other one was like 6'5". Maybe the scrawny tweaker wasn't a threat. Okay, that last part might be a little personal, but yeah.